Let's bake a sourdough croissants. This recipe is a 100% sourdough recipe. It takes 2.5 days, but I promise you it will totally be worth it. These croissants are so buttery, so good, so delicious, and I would say let's get started. Alright, it is day one and the main goal for today is to prep the dough. We are going to let the dough bulk ferment until this evening, then we're going to prepare some other steps. But yeah, this is day one of 2.5 days and this is the easiest part, so let's get started right away. We are simply mixing our wet ingredients, which is the milk, liquid butter, some salt, sugar. Actually, the order of the ingredients is not that important, just don't start with the flour. We have our prepped Levain, which we made yesterday, and it should be around 200 grams. We are going to stir just a little bit. And lastly, we're going to add the flour, 550 grams. I'm just going to stir a little bit so the flour won't fly everywhere when we're using the hand mixer. So right now the dough still looks like this, but in a couple of minutes it's going to be more cohesive. Now it should look something like this, so you can see it's not too sticky. We will let that sit for 6 to 8 hours until this late afternoon when we are going to roll it out. And for now, our job is done. It's the afternoon and our dough is ready to be prepared. But firstly, because we are making butter croissants, we need to prepare a butter plug, for which I already cut the butter into pieces. And for the block, we will create a pocket out of baking paper. So we are going to measure that, and this is going to be a pocket of 9 by 12 inch. You can either use a ruler or a measuring tape. I have a baking mat which has the inches here, so I'm trying to measure that out with that. So firstly, the long side will be the 12 inch. Okay, we have our 12 inch, and now we need to measure the short side, the 9 inch. And one thing about croissants is that you really want to work very precisely. In the end, they will come off even better, so we take our time. So now we have our pocket here, and this is going to be the size of the butter block. So we are placing the butter in the center. Alright, now we are ready to roll out the dough just a little bit. So the thing about croissants is that you have to work with a very cool dough all the time, because you want to create those layers, and those layers are made with the butter and folding the dough. And the goal is that the butter doesn't melt during the process. When you are rolling, it heats up. So we are already rolling out the dough in order to prep it for tomorrow, so that we don't have to roll it out too much, if that makes any sense. But for now, we are rolling it out in order to place it into our pan. So this is about 10 by 12 inches. And this is going to be placed into the fridge, as well as the butter plug. And now we will put those two pieces into the fridge and we will see us the next morning. Good morning, it is day 2 of making our beautiful butter croissants, and today is all about the lamination process. So we have 3 or 4 steps to do today. So we are going to begin with enclosing the butter plug into our chilled dough, which comes right out of the fridge. Then we're going to roll it out for the first time. We are going to wait because, as I already mentioned yesterday, we always want to keep the dough very cold. So 3 steps for today until we can finally bake them the next morning. I would say we're just going to start with rolling out the dough. I floured the surface a little bit, and what really helps is this baking mat, which shows me the inch. You can also of course use a ruler, but it's just easier. And we are firstly going to roll the dough out into a 12 by 18 inch rectangle. So one important step is that we want to have an evenly distributed dough, so we are always starting from the center and roll the dough out into the other direction. And one thing which helps me is to start with the length and not the height, because once you roll the dough out into the length, it will automatically roll out in the height. So if you already have the height of 12 inch, but you still need the length, that doesn't work out so well. So always start with the length. So we have our rectangle, and since we are working precisely, we are going to trim the edges. And if you're wondering what you can do with that excess dough, you don't need to throw it away. You can keep it and refrigerate and bake eventually. It will make sense. Now we're getting the butter plug. And we are placing it onto the dough. So now it should look something like this, and I hope it fits. I think the butter plug is a little bit too big, but we can fix that. So we do have some space here, and I think I'm just going to use some of the excess dough which we have. We can totally fix it. And we're just pinching the dough together. We are going to flip the whole thing over and roll it out into a 10 by 20 rectangle again. So the main goal for the lamination is that the butter and the dough never get combined, which is the reason why we want to keep the dough cold so the butter doesn't melt into the dough, which will lead into not having those beautiful layers. So that is actually already enough. And now we are again cutting the dough, so we have precisely 10 by 20. And for the excess pieces, you can already see the first layer, which we created. And now we are folding this dough into thirds. We will flip one part to the third and that part above. And this is what we're going to wrap in foil and put in the fridge for at least 1 hour. You can also freeze it for more than an hour, but at least 1 hour. So it's a couple of hours later, and we have our chilled and cold dough here again. We are rolling the dough into a 10 by 20 inch rectangle, and we're starting by pressing the dough slightly so that the rolling gets easier. We already have a bit of an issue here because the butter is coming through. This has been a mistake by rolling the dough, but that's just how it is with homemade stuff. It's not perfect, but it will still turn out delicious. Now we have our 10 by 20 inch rectangle, and again we are trimming the edges. For the final part, again, we are folding it into thirds and place it in the fridge. It's the evening and we are coming to the most fun part, the final roll out, and then we are going to shape the croissants, which I'm very excited about because now all the hard work pays off. And then after shaping, the croissants will proof overnight on the kitchen counter, so not in the fridge again. And for now we are rolling the dough out into a 12 by 24 inch rectangle, so a little bit bigger. And then we are going to cut 12 croissants out of it. So it took some time, but we finally got there. And now again we are creating an even rectangle. We do have some parts where the butter came through, which is actually a worst case scenario for baking croissants, because that means that the butter will melt into the dough during baking, which will lead to not perfect looking croissants, but anyways, it's just a matter of working precisely. And again, if you're baking homemade, it's totally fine if things aren't perfect like in a bakery. But the best part about it is that we know which ingredients is in there. These are sourdough. So basically totally healthy. And now at this point you can decide how many croissants you will make. I will make 12 croissants, so we will cut every 2 inch, since this is a 24 rectangle. And now we're simply cutting triangles. Actually, I just realized I'm very bad at math. So with these measuring, I would make 24 croissants, and I already realized how tiny they get. So I will have a third of them as tiny, and the other parts I will try to make bigger ones. So double the inches, so 4 inch per croissant, and we're trying to save them. We will do for the final part, roll these babies up, and we're starting here with the baby ones. For that you will pull the part a little bit and then roll up from the bottom. This is such a cute croissant. It will double in size. It will still be tiny, but anyway, super cute. That looks much better. I just can't get over how cute these little croissants look. They look like a little tornado or something. But the good news is that we have some leftover piece, of which we are going to make a pain au chocolat. You can totally use that recipe for pain au chocolat. And for that you don't have to cut triangles, but strips. And now we're looking for chocolate, which is always in this house. So let's see. Okay, the only chocolate we do have is white chocolate, but we have to roll with the flow. Let's do 2 chunks. So we are rolling it up. This is going to get ginormous, on the other hand. For the final part, we are just placing them onto our baking tray so they can proof, and they need some space, so we give them that. So, final part for today is done. I'm very excited how they turn out in the morning. I hope they get enormous, especially those babies. This is just the cutest. I'm dying. It's so adorable. So cute. All right, I will see you in the morning. Good morning. I hope you had a wonderful night and you're ready to bake those babies. They look totally ready, and I already preheated the oven to 190 degrees. And I also made 1 batch already, which you can tell in the back. But now we are making our second batch. The final part is to brush the croissants with egg wash, which is just 1 beaten egg with a little splash of cream. Now we're gonna pop them in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes, and I try not to eat all of the other ones. I'm very excited how they turned out. They look super delicious, and if you could only smell that house right now, it smells so buttery. I really love how they turned out. Some of them are really perfect, I would say. Like how the small baby croissants turned out. They look like small tornadoes. And I'm thinking about stuffing them. They would be perfect to fill with maybe a white chocolate filling. Let's see. Drop in the comments how you like your croissants, just plain or stuffed with something. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this recipe helps you and that you can bake your own sourdough croissants. I'm very excited to slice them, which we are going to do in a minute. We're going to let them cool off. But yes, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I see you in the next one.